And we all stand for the pledge, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Shall I call the roll?
Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Nikki Bender.
Here.
Kathy Aldensee.
Here.
Joy Sellers.
Here.
Nikki Martin.
Here.
Sellers. Patrick Sellers.
Here.
That's it.
All present. Okay. First item on the agenda is the approval of minutes of the May 5th, 2014 Town Board regular meeting. I need a motion.
I move for approval. A second.
All righty. Are there any questions on the minutes? Okay, well, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Righty. Next item on the agenda is public hearing on ordinance 2014-T01, budget appropriation ordinance. I need a motion and a second. We can have a discussion. Am I right, Mike?
No, it's already moved.
It's already been, okay, okay. So we can,
You just have to open the public hearing.
okay. I now open the public
We need
hearing.
a motion to open the
No.
public? No?
Just declare the public hearing open.
Okay.
Okay,
And you're gonna do that?
yes.
All right.
Declaring the public
one are you
hearing
doing first?
open. Opening the public hearing.
5:31. Okay. Public hearing is now open.
Yes.
Looks like you have no members of the public who want to comment.
No?
You can declare the meeting closed. The
Okay.
hearing closed, excuse
I
me.
declare public hearing to be closed. All right.
And noting that there was no members of the public present and no
Yes.
one wanted to comment.
Okay.
All right. I would like to have something to the board. There was some discussion.
I have a question before clarification. Do we then, consider the appropriation ordinance passed?
No, it hasn't
No.
been voted on.
Haven't voted on it yet.
It's up for debate.
Right.
Okay, so that would be the next thing on the agenda then, right?
Right.
Approval? Okay, that's all I wanted to know.
There were some concerns about the cost of insurance during the last meeting. I would like to take this opportunity to inform the board that I heard the concerns and that had a meeting with our insurance agent, the CFO, and the assessor and myself. We all sat down with our insurance agent and we found a more cost-efficient plan for the township. I'm going to hand this out. Everyone can take a look. As you can see, the new plan that we are looking at getting will save the township $14,950 yearly.
Oh, wow.
Through more,
14,000?
yes,
Wow.
through more research and some great sleuth work of our CFO, she found a small business health care tax credit, which we applied for and we got accepted into. And that gives us 35% credit on our contributions, a savings of $29,002.97.
For this year?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
The cost savings between the premium and the reduction is anticipated to be about $53,862.67.
Wow, yay.
So great job, Liz. Great
Yes,
job.
great job, Leah. Wow, that's really good. I'll get to 5 minutes. I'll get Leah's to work for me.
All right. Next item on the agenda is the approval of the budget appropriation ordinance T 2014-T01. Do I need a motion in a second? No. We've already done that for the approval.
We've already done it for approval.
Okay, so now we just need to vote, right?
Right, if there's no further discussion.
Any more discussion? Okay, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Bender.
Aye.
Martin.
Aye.
Sellers.
Aye.
Altensey.
Aye.
Sellers.
Aye.
Motion passed.
Motion passed. Next item on the agenda is Resolution 2014-R-01, designating signatories. Do we all have that ordinance? Okay. I mean, resolution, excuse me. Thanks, Mike. You're going to correct me, weren't you? I know you are.
We need a motion and a second to
Okay.
approve.
All right.
Discussion is over.
Guess I need a motion and a second to open up for discussion.
I make a motion for discussion for the resolution number R2014-R-01. Is that what you're on? Okay.
Yes. Need a second?
I second.
All right. Now open.
This doesn't have to designate where these funds are gonna be in this particular one.
No,
Is that correct?
That's the
Just
next one.
that's the
signatures.
next one, just the
Okay.
signatures.
Okay.
Just the signatures.
Is Barb bonded,
Yep.
yeah?
Yep. That was hard to say, huh? It's Barb on Barb. I'm glad you didn't say Barb Burns Barb. Okay.
Can this be changed when, if circumstances change?
Yes.
Okay.
We have changed it. You passed it 2 or 3 times in the
Yeah.
last year.
Yeah, okay, so.
Any more discussion? Roll call vote?
If you, or the voice vote doesn't matter, if it's whatever.
Voice vote, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Next item on the agenda, Resolution 2014-R-04, designating depositories for the public funds of the town of Freeport.
It should be 02.
02, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I didn't change. I didn't
I'm
give
sorry.
out the old one.
Old agenda, I'm sorry. So it's Resolution 2014-R-02.
Right.
Okay. I need a motion and a second to open up for discussion.
I make a motion that we discuss the resolution number 2014-R-02.
To discuss it or approve?
Oh, to approve.
Yes. And then we have
Okay,
discussion
to
after.
approve.
Okay.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No problem.
You're getting us in order, Mike.
I second.
All right.
Who seconded?
Aldens.
Altensey, thank you.
Motion by Sellers, second by Aldens. Okay.
Now we discuss.
Question. This is the only depository that we're gonna have? There's gonna be no more funds downstate?
No, we are going to transfer the funds from the Illinois Fund into Fifth Third Bank.
Okay. Do we have stuff in the Illinois fund yet? Monies?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, but we also have accounts already with Fifth Third Bank. I want to hand out some information to the board. We're going to get a higher return on our investment by doing this, and we need to make some money. So just have to be 100%, you want real with it, so.
Wow.
So as you can see, our year-to-date, our interest has gained us $212.
Yeah.
That's
That
not
ain't
Spend
really,
that all in
it's
one
not really a
place.
lot, so.
No.
Every little bit counts.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, the 212 ain't. Well,
We checked with other banks, and Fifth Third is offering us the best
okay.
return. You cannot use a credit union.
Mm-hmm.
It has to be a
Yeah.
bank. So
funds were doing good there for a while, and now they're sunk.
Yeah. They did, so it's,
You don't have to worry about checks and
No.
supplies and.
no.
Can they lock these rates in for us for a period of time? The, Fifth Third?
Yes, I think so. Liz, am I correct in my assumptions? I
Yes.
think- Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like if we do the money market or whatever, we get that rate?
And
then-
if I'm not mistaken, that's on each fund, am I correct?
Yes.
Okay, it's on each fund.
So each fund will have a
Mhm.
money market and they will be set up so that as we need the money,
Yes, it's
we
totally,
aren't gonna be taking
it's
it
totally
out.
liquid, yes.
Okay.
It's totally liquid. Any more?
So,
What? Oh,
no
sorry.
penalties, right?
No, no,
Right,
no, no, we
that's
don't want
right.
any penalties.
That's a good deal.
Okay. Guess we're gonna do another voice vote. Any questions on this? I'm sorry. Trustee Bennett still looking. I can wait.
I guess why were we getting so much of a percentage at the beginning and then all of a sudden it just, right after May, it just fell down like crazy?
The market.
Huh? Yeah, I
the
know
market.
the
Had to
market,
do
but
with
not,
It's the
the
market.
Illinois rating.
that
Yeah.
market is not good at all, is it?
Yes.
Our Illinois rating is
No,
not good.
it's not
Illinois
good.
does not have a good rating.
Yep, it's gonna get worse.
Well, any more questions on it?
Mm-mm.
We'll take it, voice vote, or we do
Voice vote's fine,
Okay.
you're not spending money.
a, all righty, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Right. Next item on the agenda, supervisors' contracts. I'm going to hand out both. Do you have them? Okay.
I have them, yes.
You have them? Okay.
Yes.
Hand out the contracts. First one I'm handing out is going to be for, this is the IT contract. Alrighty. Take a look.
I don't have the four horses.
You don't? Okay.
I don't have, I didn't print it out. I'm
Okay, I'll
sorry.
give you a copy. Here you go.
Thank you.
The next one I'm handing out is for the media consultant. It's plural, not singular. Thank you.
I'm sorry. I did have a copy.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
I'm more efficient than I thought.
IT one first.
Yeah,
right?
talk about the IT one first.
Where does that appear in our budget, Andrew?
In consultants, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. No, I have my, but let me get my,
Yeah, I
there
put
it is.
the,
I know you put a packet, but.
Let me get my,
Oh, right here, this is, 01-12-5228.
yes. 01-12-5228.
did you get one? Didn't you bring your budget?
No,
You didn't.
I'm sorry, Barb, no, I don't go online.
Actually, Patrick, yours is 01-11-5228. The number you gave him was mine.
5228?
The 1-2 is mine. His
This
is
says
1,
GF supervisor contractual.
is 11.
01-12-5228, it's under GF supervisor.
Which one do you have, Mike? Let me see what budget.
Maybe I have an older version.
You've got an older version.
Oh, okay.
Yep, 01-11 right here.
This is,
Well, do we have one from last week, Barb? Or is that new?
This is the original
Oh,
one
okay.
that's been
Oh, okay.
passed.
Okay.
Mike, you want a copy too?
oh, yeah, I'll get it.
Okay.
Cindy, is this the same that you pay?
Yes,
Is it?
yes. Ray hasn't raised his rates in, I'd say, 4 years.
Oh, wow.
He's very good at what he does.
Yes, he is very good, and
Very
he's,
good at what he does.
he's helping us a lot down here, getting us up to speed with everything, because we were a little behind the times, just a little bit. We're getting there, though, we're getting there.
And technology changes so
Yes.
fast, and, you know, every year is something different.
Do you need a motion?
Did you get a quick
Is that
version?
what we're looking for?
I'm sorry.
Looks like you do have a correct version.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yes,
Do we need a motion?
Motion.
Yes.
Okay, I make the motion that we accept this FY 2014-2015 IT consultants contract.
accept or approve.
Approved.
I second. Couldn't get it.
Motion by Bennett, second by, yes.
There's no limit on the amount of money that will be expended. I mean, I see he's got $48 an hour for off-site, 58 on-site, but it doesn't say what the total amount we're gonna pay him. Do we know?
Well, we don't know.
We don't.
But don't we know from last year? Don't we have a good guess?
Well, this is
Is
his,
this open-ended?
this is his first time actually being a full year with us, because he started with us in September 8th of last year. So,
Okay, I'm just a little uncomfortable that there's no, said services shall, not exceed a certain amount of money.
You know, legally, there is a cap by whatever's been appropriated.
Appropriated.
So it
Mhm.
cannot, all the consultants, not just him, but all of them
Right.
cannot exceed the amount that's been appropriated.
But do
But
we-
this individual contract, you're right, does not have a cap. Now, we're gonna change the format. We're not gonna change the substance. We're just
Right.
you gave it to the attorney, he says, oh, I wanna add a few clauses, you know.
yes.
But it's all procedural to protect us, so it's
Right.
good. The form that we sign is gonna be different, but the substance is not gonna change.
Okay, so who else is under our consultant line at 30,000 besides IT?
That will be our media, the other,
Our media?
Uh-huh.
Anyone else?
as of right now, no.
Okay.
No.
Because we do have a detailed account from media as to how they are going to
But I guess with this,
bill us.
but I guess this is some things it might be as we need them, isn't it? So
It is. Well, you know, Ray really can't pinpoint exactly everything he's gonna do for us every single day, or whenever he comes in, because situations change. We'll call Ray when our systems are totally down, and he'll come in and he'll get them up for us. He can't foresee that. He can't foresee when our systems are gonna be down.
because they might work good all year.
Right.
You might not
like
need
right
them
now,
either.
we're having a problem with our emails. We're having a problem with it. So Ray's gonna have to come in and gonna have to get them straightened out for us. He couldn't foresee that, so.
Yeah, I just.
$48 an hour is
very reasonable for him to come here.
Yes.
Well, I'm saying, and I understand what you're saying.
Mhm, me too.
But with this, it could be, 1 year it might be a little bit high, the next year it might be really, really low, you know, so, I mean, you can't really tell with technology, you just don't know. Especially, you know, if this, right now, it's storm weather, so, you know, everything could go out, you know, so we just don't know, but I think the price is not bad.
This is just for township. Do we have one for the assessor's office?
Yeah.
Yes, you
Yes,
do, it's
yes.
coming
Next.
next. It's on the
Oh, it's
agenda.
on, it's on, okay, sorry.
So are there any more questions on? Okay, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Aldense,
Aye.
Martin,
No. Qualification, because there's not a total amount of money.
Sellers,
Aye.
Bender,
Aye.
Sellers.
Aye.
Motion passed.
Motion passed. Okay. The next item is the media consultant contract for fiscal year 2014 through 2015.
That's yours? Oh.
So we need a motion and a second.
Yes, need a motion and a
Okay.
second for approval. We need a motion and a second in order so we can have some discussion.
I motion to approve media consultant contract FY 2014 from 2014 to 2015. Is that
Second.
correct?
Yes.
Thank you.
Second.
Motion by, second by Sellers. All right, we're open for discussion.
Over here it says they'll provide for each township meeting all of these things, but then it says over here total monthly cost, $1,060. Is that $1,060 per meeting, or is that
It says monthly.
total production cost monthly?
It's
Says
monthly.
Okay, so that means two,
That's Patrick.
Yes, it'll be two meetings and we get billed monthly for
okay,
that price.
at $1,060.
Yes.
Okay, so that's for 2 meetings
Mhm.
with all of this
Yeah.
included, okay. It was just, there was that discrepancy because it said for each, and then at the end it said monthly,
Monthly.
so, okay.
That's what you get in each meeting,
Mhm.
and then
Then the monthly,
this is what you're
that's the
getting for the month.
Okay,
total cost.
Since the first part is him actually being here and recording it, and then post-production, he has to edit it and do the digital files and create a DVD.
is it okay if I verify with our cameraman that that's that he agrees with that? That that's $1,660?
Yes, I put that together for you.
Per month?
That's correct.
Okay, for 2 meetings?
That's correct.
Thank you.
There's additional services in there that I'm not charging to the township because it's a flat rate contract. If it was a regular rate contract, it would be triple that, so I decided we were gonna do a favor for the township to save them some money.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I ask a question?
Mhm.
If I look at this, per month, $450 times 2 is $900, $80 times 2 is $160, there's your $1,060.
That's correct.
That's A and B. What's C and D for then? Is that a monthly charge over?
No.
No, those are,
It's
No.
a special.
That's
if
as
he
needed.
needs anything additional,
Mhm.
he gets another reduced rate
As
for
needed.
that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I apologize. I
That's
didn't
okay.
see it
Like
as needed.
my supervisor's report that I do,
Yes, sir.
like that, so. Any more questions? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Aldense, Martin,
Aye.
Sellers,
Aye.
Bender,
Aye.
and Sellers.
Aye.
Motion passed.
Next item on the agenda is the assessor's contracts.
or?
No,
Here,
I got
I'll
it.
just give them all to you. I'll get what's left from Joy.
Just let me have it.
I had one over there.
What thing?
Sorry,
I think I might have put it over there. Mike?
Like a-
That's the contract, and I'm sending that around. Okay, I'm sure I'm gonna need it. Okay, the contract that's coming around is my contract for the same IT individual that the supervisor is using, and we've been using it for years. Difference for my office is that Ray is initiating and developing a proprietary evaluation program that we are utilizing. And as he has shared last year, when the request was, what is he doing, how is he doing it, why is it taking so long? It's because it is a proprietary, I knew that's what I wanted, Mike, thank you, system. It's the conversion from the old basic language, from DOS, into the newest and latest program software that's out there. So, as I had shared when Patrick had presented his, Ray has not raised his rates in 4 years to the township, and I think it actually goes beyond that. So the second sheet that I gave you basically gives you the information as to what we are going to have Ray be working on this year in comparison to what he did previous years. We actually have removed some of the items, so we are making headway. And that's the ability for us to do the comparisons between the county's files and our files, to upload data from our old system to our new system. He's now made that so we can do that. And those are two big, huge things. And the compare between the county and the township files is extremely important. Amazingly enough, we find more, when you're doing that cross-check, we find oopses and errors on the county end. They're all minor eventually because you get them straightened out, but the key thing is that we are now able to run that comparison ourselves, and that's huge.
We need a motion in a second.
Yes. We need a motion and a second for approval of the assessor's IT contracts.
So moved. Second.
Who made it?
Bender.
Bender? Thank you.
Second by Sala.
What else is in your consultant line item?
That is it.
That's it?
Mm-hmm.
I don't mean to backtrack, but I'm looking at our consultant line.
Mhm.
Do we pay a yearly fee for that program for our
Visual GA?
clients?
Mhm.
So would that be in our consultant line too?
No, where would that be?
Subscriptions?
Yeah, it would, under subscriptions,
Under GA.
under GA.
GA?
Mm-hmm. Yep, 02-22-5230.
Oops. Can't find it.
It's not,
Page,
right here.
whatever, what is it, page? I don't know, page.
These pages. General assistance.
Descriptions, new line
Oh,
for.
new line for visual GA.
GA.
Great. Okay.
Right?
Is that a flat cost then, Patrick? That's just, what, $3,000 that you pay? Or is that for troubleshooting?
No, that's just $3,000 that
That's
we pay.
just
Mhm.
straight?
That's it.
And then they troubleshoot if there's problems?
If there's problems, yes.
Now, is there anything additional if they have to troubleshoot?
No.
Don't think so?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Looks troubleshoot included. Okay.
All right. Are there any questions? More questions? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Alpensee.
Aye.
Martin.
No.
Sellers.
Aye.
Bender.
Aye.
Sellers.
Aye.
Motion passed.
Motion passed. Okay. Next on the agenda is the approval of claims and demands and bills payable. I need a motion and a second. Please.
I make a motion that we accept the bills and demands. No,
Approve the
I
payment.
approve the payments, I'm sorry, Mike. Approve the payments of the bills and demands. May 6th.
You need a second?
I second.
Motion by Sandra, second by Ron.
For the claims
Okay.
and demands.
All
I
right.
have a question on the
Yes.
attorney bills again.
Mhm.
Didn't we have Greg Polini on the last?
Yes, we did.
So what is, I see yours is 1,500, Cindy's is 1,000. What's
Yes.
this for?
We're finishing up the personnel rules and regs
Handbook.
in the handbook.
It's done now.
It's done. So
How
it's
much did he
finished.
charge altogether for that then?
Not
It
done
was
yet.
like $1,500 last time, wasn't it?
Possible.
Yeah, possible.
Well, we
Yeah.
had, 2005 6250 for Polini on the last one.
Okay.
Is all this just for the personnel policy?
Yes,
That handbook is extremely detailed.
it's thorough.
It's thorough.
Employee handbook, right?
It's the
Yes,
employee
employee
handbook.
handbook.
So
Yes.
shouldn't this have come before the board before we went to Polini to do this kind of thing?
I think we did. I mean, I know that, I don't know if that's what I was asking for.
No, you're asking
you're
for.
asking
Yeah.
the
You're asking
trustees.
for the trustees.
Okay, yeah,
That's
that's
another
what I
one.
was.
Which Patrick and I are working.
Oh,
Right.
okay, okay.
Right.
You know, it just seems like an awful lot of money to do a new policy and handbook without coming before the board and explaining what you wanted to do and what it was gonna cost.
In all actuality,
Wasn't it?
speaking for the GA office, that was a decision that I had the liberty of making. And since it affects GA employees, I made the decision. And it was the right decision because our previous handbook had too many loose ends. It left us susceptible to some pretty bad things, so we had to tighten it
Well,
up.
that's understandable, I can understand that. But I
And-
guess what I don't understand is why it didn't come before the board.
Did it have to, Mike?
Not for an authorization, as long as it's within the budget. As it's for legally, you can enter into the contracts, as long as you're within the appropriation ordinance.
Okay.
But didn't we have a, it seems to me we had a personnel ordinance in our system before. And I just am a little uncomfortable that this kind of money is being spent without coming before the board. It would have been nice to know upfront what those costs were gonna be, even on an information level,
Do you see an ordinance?
if you didn't have to.
I'm a little bit confused with trustee Martin's referring to. Are you talking about the personnel policy that may have been adopted previously by a resolution or ordinance? Okay. I only have a partial list of the resolutions and ordinances. I'm quickly scanning it as you were talking, looking for it. This one goes back until 2011. And I don't think it was an ordinance, but it may have been a resolution, which is a little much longer list. So if you give me a few moments, we may have had an approved by the board resolution for personnel policy. And the personnel policy will be brought back before this board, I assume.
Absolutely.
Once it's done. Your question is more directed not to the policy itself, but to the
But the
costs
costs.
of preparing the policy. Legally, from a legal standpoint, not putting it away policy standpoint, but as long as it's within the appropriation line item, the supervisor can enter into a contract for that. He doesn't need prior board approval. This is why the town board used to be known as Town Board of Auditors, meaning you're looking at it after the fact. This is that subject of that big lawsuit that occurred over in McHenry County and Grafton Township. The court there considered this exact issue. What's the proper role of the town board what's the proper role of the supervisor? And the court in that case, and that's been up to the appellate court, I think, twice now, clearly said that it's the role of the supervisor, as long as he or she is within their appropriation, they can make the decisions. Now, whether as an informational matter, that's a different matter. It's not a legal matter. Tell us before that you spend is what, if that's what you're saying, that's a decision for the board. But as for a legal, the only legal question is, does a town supervisor have the authority to enter into such a contract without first obtaining board approval? And as long as it's within the budget and appropriation ordinance, he or she can do that.
Is it possible, Mr. Sellers, that you would let us know when these things are coming up that you're gonna do, even though you don't need board approval, but it would be nice as a board to know if this is going on and this is happening and this is what you need to do?
If that is the choice of the entire board, then I can do that. Is that something that that you guys would like to have happen? If so, then yes, I can do that.
I guess two reasons. I mean, I guess if it's something that you need to do, being the supervisor, I know, it's nice to know, but I think in a way we kind of knew a little bit that it was we just didn't know what the cost was, but we did kind of know that they were doing this. So I guess, Mickey, are you wanting to know more of what's going to be the cost of something like this? But I don't know if they knew exactly because of the detail, but I'm saying, I think we kind of knew a little bit that they were doing this versus.
Well, we knew,
yeah,
last
right.
meeting it was mentioned that because that first bill was there.
I think we knew a little bit. I mean, we knew a little bit, but we didn't know what it was gonna be that. But we knew a little bit that he was doing some work for us.
Now,
I
the
think.
question that is raised in my mind, and maybe Liz can answer this, is legal services from March, under Michael Phillips, legal services from March 3rd to May 9th. Is that gonna be in 2014, 2015 bills? Since it didn't come in until.
That's what these are.
Yes.
2014 bills.
These are 2014 bills,
These are 2014 bills.
which you're looking at tonight.
Okay, so that means that we're over then our budget for legal services under budget comparison.
No.
You're looking at your brand new budget, Mickey. This is your start now.
Right.
You're
Yes.
starting with new
Starting.
dollars. Starting with new dollars.
So this is, we can pay these bills now that we passed our budget?
Correct, and that.
And we couldn't pay these bills before?
Correct.
Okay, then,
No, wait a minute.
so we're
No, I
gonna.
would
Oh, you're gonna explain to her what you did to me today?
Yeah.
Okay, go for it.
Okay. This is just like, remember the city was when we had we went past the ordinance, the appropriation ordinance, but like sometimes all the way up to July something. And under the Illinois municipal budget law, section 3, it says the governing body of each municipality. A municipality in the statute includes townships, it's not just cities and villages. Coming within the provisions of this act shall, before the first quarter of each fiscal year, adopt a combined annual budget and appropriation ordinance. And then it says the municipality may expend funds during the first quarter of the fiscal year before the municipality has adopted the combined annual budget and appropriation ordinance. So what you do is, until you pass the new one, and you may be a year, a month, or 2 months into your fiscal year, you use last year's appropriation ordinance as a guide until you have the new one passed. So you do have the authority to spend money. Otherwise, your expenditure of funds would stop. I mean, you would obviously have to pay wages, but there is a statute that specifically allows us to spend funds based, and we usually use last year's appropriation ordinance as a guide until the new one's passed.
Okay, so how does, if we use that as a guide, we're over.
Well, no, the money would be, especially now that we're cash basis, the money that you approve tonight is gonna be out of the 2014, 2015. You may have been confused because the question was a little confused. Well, you were asking if the bills that you're asked to approve tonight, are they gonna be put in a spend out of 2013-14 or 2014-15.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
The answer to that is the bills that you approve tonight are gonna be deducted from the appropriation ordinance that you passed tonight.
Okay,
They're not gonna go back and add on to what you spent prior to April 30th.
okay. So the Polini bill that we saw at the last meeting, then, even though it's for the personnel policy, is gonna be in the 2013, 2014.
Okay? Unless Liz tell me I'm wrong, that's
It was
my
paid for.
understanding.
Right, it was already paid for. Right.
Okay, so now,
1,500 is.
the rest of the personnel policy cost of $1,500 and 1,000 down here, and Cindy, I'm assuming that that's the personnel cost too.
Correct.
So it's 2,500 is gonna be this year's cost. Last year's cost for it was 2,562.50. So we've spent almost $5,000 to have this done, correct?
That would be correct.
Mhm.
Now, not all of that bill, I believe, Liz, correct me if I'm wrong, that first bill last month included other items, and this bill did. This bill had other questions and answers that I had or he had in regards to that, and then he took us to other areas as he does. He's very thorough, and in my opinion, trustees, this was well-spent money. You don't have anything, I've never had anything this detailed that covered the employees as well as the township. It was the most thorough piece of information that they've ever had in their hands. And your concern about the dollars and you'd like to have an idea, we'd all like to have an idea. But as Attorney Phillips and Patrick work on the township trustees portion, he can't give you an estimate of how many hours he's gonna put into that. I can't imagine, not unless he's already done one.
Okay, are we finished with the handbook?
Yes.
They said
Okay,
yes.
now, is it possible then for you to get a total cost for what that cost us?
Sure, we can break it down.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah.
It's in that ballpark, it's under $5,000 probably.
Okay, if you could have that at the next meeting,
Mhm.
that would be great. Just so we know, you know, what it was. It still seems like a lot, but,
Wasn't it for years, township didn't have a personnel policy?
No, they hadn't.
They had one, but
What
it
is
Did they have
wasn't-
one prior?
we had
Wasn't
one,
good.
but, you
Always
know,
had one.
as
Yeah.
Cynthia said, it probably wasn't as thorough,
No,
but we
it
did
wasn't.
have
Yeah,
one,
they always had one.
yeah.
So before.
And actually, Nikki, if you add these all together, out of this new appropriation, we're spending $14,217 out of this new appropriation
Already,
right now
already.
on attorneys.
I know. Well, and then that brings up another question, like, because your legal service bill was for March 3rd, which was the previous fiscal year, but because you're billing it in 2014, 2015, then it becomes a 2014, 2015.
Because we're on cash
Charge.
basis, and
Yes.
you credit it or you charge it to the account when you receive it.
Yeah, okay, so it doesn't matter if it was expended in a previous fiscal year, it's gonna get, now, whenever the bill comes in, it's gonna hit us
Right.
now.
That's the question. And I won't be billing at 2.5, 3-month increments anymore. I'll try to do it on a monthly basis.
Okay,
I just got kind of busy on the lawsuit.
okay, well, that helps.
And see, we
clarify.
got, yeah, and that's why, like Cindy said, he can't really, like Cindy said, he really can't give you a dollar amount or a time, because we're working on some, you know, we're working on other things. It's not just he's putting his time in there, so that's something we gotta think about too.
It would be like you call the plumber to come and fix something. They do a service charge, and then can they tell you how long they're gonna be at your house or what they have to do beforehand? No.
Well, I just think we have to be a little bit more concerned when we're spending taxpayer dollars as
I mean,
to
that's with
exactly
everything
what
now.
we're spending.
I mean, that's with
You know,
everything.
actually, we've been very concerned with taxpayer dollars. We
Right.
returned $195,000 to this budget. We returned it. So we've been very careful with taxpayers'
Right.
dollars.
I think I think we have been doing good as a board with taxpayers' dollars. I mean, I think that the township has come up with ways of saving money.
Mhm.
Now we have, Liz saved, I mean, come on, we saving $50-something thousand.
Just in
I mean, we are
Just
saving
in
money. I
insurance,
mean, yeah,
so-
you know, we do have to spend money to get things in order, but I do think we are saving money, and I
Mhm.
think that's all of our main objective is
Mhm.
to watch and see what we spend for taxpayers. I mean, we're not just saying, oh yeah, go ahead, let's have a party. No, I think we're all looking out for what we're spending. I don't think and I think we all look at that. I think we're really doing good as a board.
So
spending
I
money.
just think that
I do.
with the less tax dollars that we're getting, it's gonna get tight.
Mhm.
And I
Well,
just get concerned about that.
It's
But it's been tight before, hasn't it?
It's been real
Yeah.
tight and unaddressed tight. I don't think we wanna know why we're where we're at, Mickey.
Let's,
Let's move on.
Cindy, let's not
move
go
on.
there.
Yep,
That's
let's
right.
move on.
Okay.
Yep. Let's
Madam
move it
Clerk.
on. Thank you.
please call the roll.
Martin,
Aye.
Bender,
Aye.
Sellers,
Aye.
Aldensi, Sellers.
Aye.
Motion passed.
Next item on the agenda is the supervisor's report. And I should be brief. I'm gonna try to be as brief as possible.
Me and Nikki died.
I know. FYI for the board, I received first of all, let's talk about the proposed TIF district that the city is proposing. This is probably going to have an effect on the township's revenue in the upcoming years. Maybe Assessor Connell, could you give us some insight on this, a little
I'm
insight?
gonna hand you out the map. The new district, the city presented this to the city council last week, or 2 weeks ago. And they voted to have Vanderwall do the research to determine whether or not this fits the needs for a TIF district. And this runs parallel and adjacent to the West Avenue TIF. So if you look at the areas, it's including Cleveland Street, West, wraps around Burchard. So it's running on the east and west side of Southwest Avenue.
Is that better?
And
Okay.
primarily was instrumentally was being put into place to accommodate the new owner of the Joann's Strip Center. And when they started to do the research, they then broadened that scope to include the mall.
What mall?
The Meadows
Meadows.
Mall.
Oh,
so
Kmart, all of that is
Uh-huh.
included in this
So
area.
where Joann's Fabric is,
Yes,
there would be that Family Dollar?
all
Yep,
of
that
that.
And
whole
whatever,
section.
so there'd be two malls then, right?
Well, yeah. But the Meadows Mall is your large one where J.C. Penney's and where
Yeah.
Kmart had been anchored.
But this also includes the other mall?
Yes,
Okay.
and some residential areas. So that's the city's latest. At the next meeting, I'll bring you dollars as far as what that section, the overall value is currently for 2014. But, and as Patrick said, the impact for us is, they've not done it, but typically of the latter TIFs, they've been giving taxing districts a 25% pass-through.
Wow.
I would
Which-
presume that
which
the
means
taxing
what?
bodies are gonna ask for that again.
Which means what?
If it creates an increment, then whatever that increment is, 25% of that total dollars that it's created, put into that TIF fund will be sent out to the taxing bodies.
Okay.
Not a lot, right, Mike?
something more than the 25% more than they have to do.
Right.
They could say 0.
I know. TIF does not require any kind of pass-throughs.
It's only a percent of the increase,
Increment.
the increment for you freeze the value at a certain date, and any taxes generated on the increase in value go to the TIF fund, and of that increased taxes, the 25% of that is rebated back to the various governing, other taxing districts, school districts, et cetera.
And I would presume that they're gonna freeze 2013's assessments, so.
So is this the Kmart area?
In front of where you're circling, that was a development, a condominium development area.
Okay,
And then to the east of that is the Meadows Mall.
this here?
Kmart, no, you need to come
This
further
way?
east, yes.
Okay, so this is,
That's Kmart and JCPenney's. That's a strip center.
okay, and then as we go up here, and this is Joanne Fabric up here?
Up at the top, yes.
Okay. This- okay. So is this including Cub Food?
Yes,
So that's before.
Goes all the way up north to Cleveland Street.
yes,
So that area in there where Hallmark and
yes.
Yep,
the
Mhm.
bank,
yep,
and then, okay.
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 All right, next, I received a letter from the Illinois Attorney General's office in reference to an violation of the Open Meetings Act that occurred January 7th, 2013. Do I, no?
You can pass out.
Give you guys a,
You said January what?
January 7th of 2013. Here's a copy of the letter that I received. And, would you like to elaborate a little more on it?
Basically, the board meeting on January 7th was canceled because of the inclement weather, and they wanted to approve the bills, so the town supervisor at that time called 3 board members, got their approval verbally on the phone, and spoke in person to a 4th member. And upon doing that, that was done in order to pay the bills. A complaint was filed with the Attorney General's office by a local citizen who said that violated the Open Meetings Act because A, it was an invalid meeting, and B, it was and because they took final action other than, not at a public meeting. The Attorney General basically ruled there was no, did not constitute as a meeting because individual phone calls with only 2 people on the phone did not amount to a meeting. You need 3 members at the same time or nearly the same time in order to be constitute a meeting. So if three board members had gotten on an emails right back and forth or text messages or something like that, that would have been a violation. But sending, talking on the telephone individually did not constitute a meeting, so no violation. However, the fact that the 4 approvals verbally expressed by the trustees did violate the Open Meetings Act because it approved, took final action and approved the bills without being at a publicly held and announced meeting. And basically, it's not a binding opinion, and we don't have to do anything in response. It's more in the line of, don't do it again. Which means that if we ever have inclement weather again, which we're likely to do in this part of the state, and if we need to approve bills, we're gonna have to set up some other procedure to do it, other than the supervisor getting on the phone or meeting individually with the trustees. You have to do that at a meeting that's been advertised, even if it's an emergency meeting, and in compliance with the Open Meetings Act. So they don't require us to do anything, so my recommendation to the supervisor was we don't need to respond and.
Place it on file?
Yeah, we'll just place it on file, but I did note that maybe we should consider what we're gonna do if such facts ever reoccur and we can't
Yeah.
meet.
Yes.
can you eventually write something up? I mean, this summer will probably be okay, but
Sure, we got time.
maybe you've got time to sort of give us a heads up on how you think it might.
The-
Because with all the weather we had last year, gee, we were lucky we,
I'm
You know,
saying it could be a storm.
The key issue
That's
that
true.
jumps out at me right now is you just declared if it's an emergency, and there may be reasons why, because people have to get their medicine, or they have the money to have the medicine.
Right.
Declared emergency, and you can have a public meeting on less than 24 hours' notice. And that might be a way, but then we gotta have at least 3 trustees present, or
Mhm.
2 trustees and the supervisor, and all, if we only have 3, you have to vote unanimously, because it takes approval of at least 3 members of this board in order to take final action. But we'll just have to probably do it if need be on an emergency meeting. Otherwise, we can call a special meeting at 48 hours notice.
Okay.
well, this certainly took a long time.
Or should it?
Yes, it did. I earned a working training program. On May 10th, 13 clients were instructed to attend the community cleanup. 10 of the 13 attended. 3 were terminated for not attending. I received an email on May 14th informing me that a couple of our clients did so well that the employer that was there as a supervisor would like to possibly hire them as full-time.
Oh, good. That
Now,
is really nice.
This is what the program was designed to do. Designed to showcase the skills of our clients to possible employers. Okay? This is furthering our goal of self-sufficiency for our clients.
Good.
It's empowerment.
I
So,
really like
How
that.
That's
many
a-
did you say were offered jobs?
2.
2?
Oh, good.
Were they our younger clients or our older clients?
They were our younger clients.
Good.
Good.
So they did a magnificent job. And got email stated they would like to possibly give them some employment with their landscaping business. So
Oh, good. I really like that.
that's good. So
With a toast.
next on the agenda is the assessor's report.
I don't have anything. Tax bills went out, they're due June 6th, first
Yeah.
installment.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
I know.
Cindy.
I know. Sorry.
D-Day?
Pardon?
D-Day?
D-Day is June 6th.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow. Next item on the agenda is the trustees report. Trustees, anything?
I'd just like to say, good job. I'm glad to see that we have some programs out there that are helping our clients to be, you know, self-sufficient, and we're doing what we, you know, what you had put in place to do, and good job. I'm
Thank you.
glad we're saving money. Thank you, Liz. So, you know, all the way around. Good job.
That's some trustees. Okay. Public comments. Anyone? No. Other business? No. Need a motion to adjourn till June 2nd,
I make a
2014.
motion that we adjourn till June 2nd, 2014.
I second.
Who did that?
Motion by Sellers, second by Alderson.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Can I get you guys to sign this, please?
Meeting
before
adjourned.
you leave?
Oh,